Imagine this. 1 in every 10 people over the age of 12 in the United States is addicted to drugs or alcohol. That's over 23 million individuals, a number larger than the population of Australia. A staggering statistic, isn't it? It's a sobering reality that underscores the gravity of addiction, a pervasive issue that has spread its roots deep into the fabric of our society. But what makes this issue even more alarming is its silent, insidious nature. Addiction doesn't announce its arrival with a fanfare or a grand entrance. It creeps in quietly, slowly altering the brain's landscape until the individual is left grappling with a powerful force. It's a battle fought in the mind, often unseen and unheard. Understanding addiction isn't just about recognizing its prevalence. It's about understanding the brain, the complex organ that governs our thoughts, actions, and emotions. To comprehend why and how this happens, we must first delve into the human brain, the epicenter of addiction. Welcome to Brain Hub. Stick with us through to the end as we unveil the methods and treatments to combat addiction. Our brain, a 3-pound universe within us, governs everything we think, feel, and do. But how does it fall prey to addiction? Imagine the brain as an intricate city with countless roads, intersections, and highways. Each region of this city has a specific role. The frontal lobe, as the city's mayor, makes decisions and controls our behavior. The limbic system, the city's heart, regulates our emotions and memories. The brainstem, the city's power plant, controls our automatic functions like breathing and heartbeat. In this city, information travels along neural highways in the form of neurotransmitters, the city's couriers. They carry messages from one neuron to another, shaping our thoughts, feelings, and actions. 2 crucial neurotransmitters in our story of addiction are dopamine and glutamate. Dopamine, the city's joy courier, is associated with pleasure and reward. Dopamine, under normal circumstances, is released by our brain during pleasurable activities such as exercising, socializing, eating a delicious meal, or hugging a loved one. This release of dopamine gives us a feeling of contentment and happiness. Essentially, it's the brain's way of acknowledging a positive experience and suggesting, "That was wonderful, let's do that again." This mechanism is part of the brain's reward system, a vital component ensuring our survival. Concurrently, glutamate acts as the brain's memory courier, playing a key role in learning and memory. It assists in recalling and replicating actions that lead to rewarding experiences. However, the landscape changes when addictive substances enter the picture. How do they impact this intricate system? These substances flood the brain with dopamine, causing an intense rush of pleasure or euphoria. They also affect glutamate, strengthening memories of this intense pleasure and the behavior leading to it. This double whammy of dopamine and glutamate creates a powerful association, a shortcut between the substance and the pleasure it brings. The brain, however, is not equipped to handle this flood of dopamine. To protect itself, it starts to produce less dopamine or reduces the number of receptors that can receive these signals. This is why addicts need to consume more and more of the substance to feel the same high. It's a desperate attempt to chase that initial rush of pleasure, but there's a darker side to this. As the brain adjusts to these high levels of dopamine, normal activities no longer bring about the same joy. Eating your favorite food, hanging out with friends, all these things that used to make you happy, they seem dull and uninteresting now. The brain, tricked into thinking it needs these substances, gets trapped in a cycle of addiction. The brain, now enslaved by addictive substances, is caught in a relentless loop. It's a cycle that seems as predictable as the sun's rise and set, yet it's a cycle that holds a potent grip on those trapped within its confines. Let's break down this cycle to understand it better. It starts with a craving, a deep-seated longing that gnaws at the mind incessantly. It's not just a want, it's a need, a compulsion that's as urgent as the need to breathe. This craving is driven by the brain's memory of the pleasure or relief the substance once provided. The brain, in its attempt to chase that sense of satisfaction, urges the person to seek out the addictive substance. Next comes consumption, the act of succumbing to the craving. It's like quenching a parched throat with a long-awaited sip of water. The addictive substance interacts with the brain, triggering a surge of dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. This creates a temporary sense of satisfaction, a fleeting moment of pleasure or relief that makes the struggle seem worthwhile. But like all good things, this satisfaction is short-lived. As the effects of the substance wear off, the person experiences withdrawal. This can manifest as physical discomfort, psychological distress, or both. The brain, now accustomed to the presence of the substance, struggles to function normally without it. This cycle of craving, consumption, temporary satisfaction, and withdrawal is not a one-time event. It repeats over and over, each repetition strengthening the brain's association with the substance. Over time, this leads to tolerance, where the brain requires more of the substance to achieve the same level of satisfaction. This, in turn, leads to dependence, where the brain cannot function normally without the substance. This cycle, once set into motion, is incredibly difficult to break, but not impossible. As mentioned in the beginning of the video, we'll explore the solutions and treatments available that can help break free from this relentless cycle. Because despite the power of addiction, there is always hope for recovery and a return to health. The cycle of addiction, though formidable, is not invincible. There are ways to break free. So, let's take a deep dive into the various treatment options available for addicts, like medication, therapy, and support groups. Each of these methods plays a unique role in the recovery process, and they often work best when used in combination. Medication can be a powerful tool in the battle against addiction. Different types of medications can help manage withdrawal symptoms, reduce cravings, and even block the effects of addictive substances. For instance, medications like naltrexone and buprenorphine are often prescribed to individuals recovering from opioid addiction. They work by binding to the same receptors in the brain that opioids do, effectively blocking the euphoric effects and reducing cravings. Therapy, on the other hand, is a more holistic approach that addresses both the physical and mental aspects of addiction. Cognitive behavioral therapy, for example, helps individuals recognize and change harmful behaviors and thought patterns associated with their addiction. It teaches coping strategies and skills to handle stress and triggers in a healthier way. Motivational interviewing is another type of therapy that aims to enhance an individual's motivation to change. It's all about building self-belief and embracing the idea that change is possible. But let's not forget about the power of support groups. These groups provide a safe and supportive environment for individuals to share their experiences, struggles, and victories over addiction. They foster a sense of community and belonging, which can be incredibly empowering during the recovery process. Groups like Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous use a 12-step approach that encourages personal growth, accountability, and a spiritual connection. Now, it's important to note that what works for one person may not work for another. Addiction is a complex issue, and there's no one-size-fits-all solution. That's why individualized treatment plans are crucial. These plans take into account a person's unique needs, preferences, and circumstances, and they are often adjusted and refined over time. Another key factor in the recovery process is social support. This can come from friends, family, therapists, or support group members. Having a strong support network can make a world of difference. It provides emotional comfort, practical help, and encouragement, and it can significantly enhance a person's chances of long-term recovery. So, what's the takeaway here? Well, overcoming addiction is no easy task. It requires a lot of hard work, patience, and perseverance. It's a journey filled with ups and downs, triumphs and setbacks. But with the right tools and support, breaking free from the shackles of addiction is possible. Remember, there's always hope, and it's never too late to seek help.